George and Wendy are both 65 years old, and they just retired together with $2 million saved. They're ready to enjoy the fruits of their labor and spend, but they have one question. Can they formulate a plan where they die with zero? Stick around and find out. Welcome to Rise in Retirement,
where it is our goal to help you optimize and simplify your retirement plan.
I'm Jet.
And I'm Taco.
We are financial advisors at W.A. Smith Financial Group, a firm trusted by thousands of individuals, and we work with people all over the U.S. Our mission is simple: to ensure that you focus more on your life, worry less about your money. And if you're interested in learning more about that, make sure after this video that you head on over to riseinretirement.com. Tons of valuable resources there waiting for you.
But stay right here. We're going to talk about George and Wendy. Today's hypothetical example. They're 65 years old. They just retired. Really a frugal couple that did a great job, saving. They accumulated over $2 million within a couple different sources: pre-tax, post-tax, tax-free. They've done an awesome job. They're ready to enjoy it. But at the end of the day, they know they have enough money, but they want to die with zero.
Yeah, ever heard of the concept die with zero? There's a book out there that you can check out called Die with Zero. Here's what I hear when someone tells me that. We've mentioned last check bounce mentality on this show before. I love this because we're seeing more and more clients that are thinking this way.
Yeah,
especially a lot more than when I first entered the industry long ago. Rather than formulating a plan to leave some big legacy after you're gone, we're seeing a wave of people that go, why would I want to do that? I'll never get to see my kids, my grandkids actually enjoy the money. And the second part of that is, while you're living, there's a chance that awarding or gifting or whatever term you want to use that money to them now might end up being more impactful to them than it will when you die later on and they have their own nest egg build up. So,
and it could be more tax efficient, which we're going to talk about. And obviously an awesome topic here. But if you want to, you mentioned riseinretirement.com, Jet. If you do want to learn a little more about your personal situation, you have an opportunity to go to riseinretirement.com, book a 30-minute call with an advisor here to just talk a little more about your situation. We'll talk more about Rise in Retirement as well as we go along here.
So here's some details. George and Wendy are 65, and they literally just retired together. Yeah. They worked at the same company, and they actually met each other there. And I believe it or not, I have a lot of clients that are like this. Yeah. They're super frugal, which is a good thing. They've lived for 30 plus years on less than what they were taking home income-wise for their paychecks. They did it on purpose.
Yeah.
And they got entrenched in that, and it helped them amass that $2 million savings that they've accumulated. They've got 3 kids, 10 grandchildren. 3 kids are all doing fairly decent. None of them are wealthy, but they're on their own. They're handling things on their own. They're not in mom and dad's pocket. They do not expect anything from their parents, not while they're living, nor after they pass away. And they also have no idea how much money mom and dad have. They have no idea that George and Wendy have $2 million sitting in their retirement nest egg. They've got that $2 million in a couple of different places. 401ks make up about $1.4 million of the total. $300,000 of that is saved in the bank between cash and CDs, and $300,000 of that is in Roth IRAs.
Yeah. And ultimately, their goal is to formulate that plan that maximizes how much they can take and spend every single month.
Yep.
And, you mentioned, the die with zero. There's 2 concepts of die with zero, two client types that I hear, die with zero. One is they want to truly spend it all themselves.
Correct.
Like, we want to go on vacations, we want to travel, we want to do everything for us. Yep. Then there's the die with zero concept that I think we're talking here with George and Wendy, which is, we want to spend it all and see it get spent, but it is part of the spending they understand is, I want to see the kids enjoy it now, right? And so that's going to be a big point here. So formulate a plan is what they want that maximizes how much they can take each month, each year, whatever it may be. Develop a gifting plan. So part of that max spend is how much of this can we spend confidently for ourselves? How much of this can we give annually to our kids and our grandchildren at the end of the day? And ultimately balancing these two goals is the biggest challenge they probably have.
Yeah, I want to talk about the income scenario. We'll jump right into it. So right before they retired, they've been spending, and this is for the last several years, they've been living very comfortably off of $6,000 of income per month. Mm-hmm. So income goal in retirement, you ask them that question. If I say, hey, George and Wendy, how much income do you guys want in retirement? You've been spending about $6,000 a month. So what's retirement look? They'd be the type of people that would say something like, you tell me.
Yeah.
I want there to be nothing left. I need you to tell me how much can we withdraw? And then we need to determine how much of that withdrawal we're going to spend. And after we're good, how much of that withdrawal are we giving away?
Yeah. Because ultimately there's no debt. Mm-mm. They've lived a frugal life already. 6,000's more than enough of doing just all the things they want to do. They don't have any pensions, but they do have Social Security that turned on together at 65 when they retired, which they're going to collect about $4,400 a month from Social Security. And so if they were just trying to simply spend what they were spending while they were working, that $6,000, that's only $1,600 a month that they have to take from their $2 million, which is about a 1% annual rate of return. Obviously in great shape from that standpoint.
Yeah.
So we know they can afford it. We know that's a, no-brainer that they can afford retirement at this point. They don't have to worry. But it's back to that balancing act of how much now can we and should we, from a tax standpoint, gift to our kids so that we can see them enjoy it now.
Now, take it a step further here. If we were to look at this, they can live on $6,000 per month. They don't want to. They want to do more. Mm-hmm. They've done it long enough. I mean, almost to the point of sacrifice, right? They've been so diligent with sticking to a budget that would allow them to amass this opportunity for themselves. They've decided, no, we can spend more. They don't know what that number looks like. You start throwing numbers at them. Well, what about $8,000 a month? What about $9,000? What about $10,000? It's honestly for people like George and Wendy, it's hard for them to even fathom how they would do that.
Right.
We're so ingrained in what we've done for the last 10, 15, 20 years. I'm not even sure what we would go do, but they're up for the challenge, which is what I love about people like this is, hey, we'll find a way.
Yep.
We'll find our way. So we started building an example here. We said, let's say that George and Wendy, instead of wanting $6,000 a month, they want $10,000. So, hey, we're going to build you an income plan where you have $10,000 every single month of spendable cash. With me?
Yep.
Even if that's all it was, on $2 million with what they're getting from Social Security and wanting $10,000 total, they're still only at a 3.3% annual withdrawal rate. So if that's all this case was, green light all day, right? But that's not all this case was. If they agree to say, hey, yeah, we'll find a way to spend $10,000, what they want your help with, Taco, is how much more could we pull out now to give to our kids, to give to our grandkids? And how do you even go about figuring that out?
Yeah. This bad boy right here. That's where I start, right?
fancy tool.
Fancy tool. It's real simple. No, to keep this simple, to keep this really simple, think about it. George and Wendy have $2 million right now.
Here, let's while we're doing this, we're going to throw an example up on the screen so that you can follow along with this.
Yeah. So we have a present value that we can plug into our calculator. It's $2 million. That's what we have today. Mm-hmm. They have an appetite for risk as well. It's what's gotten them where they've gotten because they've lived frugal. Mm-hmm. They knew that they could ride the market. So let's just assume on average over a long period of time that they can make 7% on their money. I said a long period of time, 30 years. So we're plugging in 2 million present value, 7% earning per year, 30-year period, and a future value of 0. Right. We want to die with 0. Now we're reversing into how much do we pull each year to accomplish that.
Right.
That end result ends up being about $161,000 that they could pull per year for 30 years. That's in addition to Social Security. Yep. That's just strictly off their investments to ultimately end with zero at the end of 30 years.
So you got 161,000 based on all those assumptions that we just showed you that they could be withdrawing from this 2 million. Of that 161,000, they only need 67,200 of it for themselves based on that. Hey, we're going to find a way to spend 10,000 a month.
Yep.
So simple math tells me that after they take what they need for living, of that 161,000, there's still almost $94,000 left that they could still withdraw for gifting purposes, for spending it with their kids, for giving it to their kids, their grandchildren, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
And in a second here, we'll talk about different type of gifting strategies. So I think it's pretty powerful. I mean, the next step now that you have to talk about is tax strategy with this, because now that we can get into super specifics in this case example right now with the time that we have, but if they're taking $161,000 out of their portfolio every year, where are they pulling it from?
Right.
Brokerage account, Roth IRA, the traditional IRA pool, or the 401k funds. How do you combine withdrawals from different accounts to control your tax bracket? That's kind of where our step goes next.
Correct. And I think that, the calculator route is an easy way to just get a number. Mm-hmm. Now you start looking at tax strategies, right? And you start looking at, okay, what do I want our adjusted gross income to look like? Which tax bracket do we want to be in? Are we okay with paying additional Medicare premiums? Mm-hmm. Because you start getting into a bracket of IRMA, which I'm not going to go into a bunch of detail there, but it's ultimately you hit a certain income number, you pay more on Medicare premiums. Yeah. Some people are okay with that and say, hey, yeah, it's worth it. Let's ramp it up. Do we go heavy in 1 year or 2 years or 3 years, versus doing the same thing every single year? So there's a lot of different things that you can look at, but you look at gifting limits, and that's what people get honestly too caught up on sometimes, is they look at what the annual gift limit is and they think they can't do any more than that. It's yes and no, but ultimately you can do more. Yep. If you do more than the gifting limit, then you just have to make sure you file that with your taxes. And it doesn't mean that there's tax liability. It means the IRS wants to track how much money you're passing on as part of your lifetime amount that you are allowed to pass on without paying estate taxes.
Let me translate that for you. If you have always viewed the gift tax exclusion, the limit that you're allowed to give to an individual, as the only dollar amounts that you're allowed to give to them without having you or the gift receiver to pay tax, not necessarily true in most cases. Right. We're not going to go through the details, but you can give a lot more, and neither the receiver nor you will pay gift tax on it in 99 out of 100 cases, probably.
Yeah.
So without further ado, in wrapping this up, this is a major green light. I mean, you've known that from the moment that we started. So this is a green light case. What they need is they need an income plan that helps them sort it all out.
Yeah.
And my key takeaway here is that I absolutely love their mentality. I would much rather see a client who is in this type of a situation give money away while they're living, do it from a tax advantageous planning standpoint. And not only will their kids and grandkids be happy, but they will be too.
Yeah. And I think that my takeaway is that they can do gifting not only for their kids, they can use such an awesome combination strategy of giving some direct gifting to the kids to see them use it, spend it, and then set up some, insurance, even life insurance, second to die, that when they're passing on, it's skipping their kids, but going straight to the grandchildren. Yeah. So now you're setting up, not only did you gift and let the kids enjoy it while you were alive and see it, but you're also setting up the grandchildren for major success as well. So there's just so much to do here with their situation, and I'm glad they're willing to do it.
Here's what you should do. Head over to riseandretirement.com. Check out the free resources there. If you are ready to go through your unique situation with an advisor here, we can start with an introductory, no obligation, absolutely complimentary 30-minute phone call. You can schedule that 30-minute phone call right there on the website. If you like today's video, make sure to like, share, subscribe, drop us a comment, and head to Rise and Retirement when we're done here. We are out of time. Without further ado, we'll see you next time on Rise and Retirement.